With debate in Washington raging, President Barack Obama is forcefully defending his plans to close the Guantanamo Bay detention center.
By any measure, the cost of keeping it open far exceed the complications involved in closing it.
In what aides called a major speech on national security, the president said Guantanamo has not only made the U.S. more vulnerable, it's also hurt the country's moral standing. Moments after the president spoke, former Vice President Dick Cheney gave his own address, defending the Bush administration's handling of terrorism.
Part of our responsibility, as we saw it, was not to forget the terrible harm that had been done to America, and not to let 9/11 become the prelude to something much bigger.
The president had a different take on the previous administration.
Instead of building a durable framework for the struggle against al-Qaeda that drew upon our deeply held values and traditions, our government was defending positions that undermined the rule of law.
This speech was part of Obama's effort to try to regain control over this debate. He spoke a day after Senate Democrats denied him the funding he needs to close the prison, in part because they didn't have enough details about his plans. Obama tried to fill in some of those gaps today, but he left some questions unanswered.
The president says some terror suspects will be brought to top security prisons in the United States. But it's still unclear what will happen to detainees who won't be tried for war crimes but are likely to be held indefinitely. Analysts say that could be one of the president's most difficult challenges.
We know that the Congress doesn't want them to be in the United States. We sure know that other countries in the world are not going to want to take them, especially after the Congress of the United States say we don't want them here. Why should they be there? So there are a lot of question marks out there.
Obama doesn't have much time to answer those questions. The executive order he signed just days after taking office calls for Guantanamo to be closed by January. Julie Pace, The Associated Press, the White House.